we're now using Streamlabs instead of YouTube directly, because that's what was looking funky, I think. So here we are. And I made the chat big enough so hopefully I can see what's going on. Hopefully. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, maybe let's move this around, because that's kind of distracting. That we didn't need to do. Front camera. Okay. Okay, we're learning how to flip shit around. How annoying. Okay, do editor. There we go. I feel like that's not the best one either. Okay, does chat like have a delay on it now? This is such a pain in the ass. Okay, hold on. I like how my frames per second keep dropping all crazy too. What a bitch. Okay, this can go there. There, we want that showing. Okay. Okay, if someone would type something for me, that'd be great, because I'm definitely not seeing fuck all. This is really irritating. Let's see. Nope. There we go. Okay. Finally. Okay, so there we go. You were scammed out of your free premium. I don't think that's true. Hold on, let's fix this now that I got that showing up. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. There's a lot going on. Okay, editor. We'll move chat right here. Okay. I just fucking moved that. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this again. Oh. Okay, if you were, all right, you're a survivor of COVID. Okay, if you really got COVID-19 and if you, okay, here were the rules for that. I need you to redact your medical discharge paperwork, so it can just have your first name, hide all your private information. I don't want your social security. I don't want to see your last name. If you snap me or through any social media direct messaging, if you send me proof that you survived COVID-19, you will get a free sub. But you can't just claim that. So it's very likely I didn't get your proof. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, okay, so here's what I understand. Apparently, at some point today, there was some issues. I feel like this should be moved. I'm annoying myself with this. I'm so sorry. Okay, wait, no. Okay, here's what I understand. At some point today, there were some type of altercation issue. Now, the same kind of like fights and tension would kind of happen when he was at my place with my family for a little bit. And basically, he'll be streaming and loud and kind of obnoxious. And the second people ask him to be mindful of others, like space, doing is the most important thing. And he'll go on and on trying to justify why he should be allowed to be so rude and obnoxious, claiming how important he is or who he knows or who he's worked for in the past or present. And he kind of feels entitled. And basically, you know, there were certain times like his antics paid off. His whole life these antics have paid off. That's why he's still behaving this way. And I've told him time and time again, like, I really think something horrible and violent is going to happen to you because you're going to piss off the wrong person. And people have gotten taken out over much less. Now, please don't twist my words. I'm not threatening him. I'm just saying he claims to be like all hood and this and that. I don't think he's really rolled with hood. Like, I don't think he really knows how people get down. He'll talk a lot of crap. He'll try to threaten things. He'll try to intimidate intimidate people with bullshit, thinking he's like untouchable. And then when it comes to like when the cops come through or whatever, the story changes, and it's like a predictable pattern, right? Like the stuff he'll start spewing. Oh, it's okay. Like consequences to his actions, and that's why he thinks it's okay to act this way, because acting this way gets him the result he wants, and that is a learned behavior. It is, I feel very manipulative. I feel he's 100% aware of what he's doing, because he can snap in and out of that like no problem. He can turn on the tears when he needs to. He can turn up the hysteria when he wants to play like the autism angle or whatever he's trying to do. He's kind of a master manipulator in that way, and it's just too bad. It's too bad. I remember the last incident, which I saw what had happened. This time I didn't really even need to bother with it. But I was like kind of triggered because of the stuff that was going on. And like the second the police were coming, like he totally changes the script, he changes the narrative. It's the same excuses every time. I believe last time it was like a mental health place he went, a mental evaluation. It's, I think, a Baker action here in California. It's called 5150. He was able to talk his way out of it. Somehow he was able to convince people, hey, I'm an actor, this is what I do, it's for content, and he was able to manipulate his way out of a 48 to 72 hour hold. Right, so yeah, no, I was seeing the love on MP2, so that was cool. Thank you for that. I realize he is a SAG actor, that's fine, but you have to understand, when you're having like a domestic violence altercation, when you're having Jerry Springer quality family drama, like it doesn't even cross his mind like the horrible things he's accusing his family of, like that's there forever. It's always going to be on the internet. Everybody clips it. Like it doesn't matter to him, because in the moment it's about him being right no matter what the situation is. He has to override the problem. So, and it always starts out with people generally asking him to chill out, to be quiet, maybe to take the stream outside or elsewhere. And he doesn't want to do that. He thinks that what he's doing is more important than anyone else's quiet time, entertainment, or anything like that. And the sad part is that at one point he was able to convince a lot of people of this stuff. He was able to convince hundreds of people to call me nonstop, to make false reports on me. I think his audience, by the time Lauren came into the picture, the people that were still watching, I feel like they just kind of liked the shit show, and they already knew who he was, so I don't know that they necessarily participated in gang stalking towards her. But there was a tape that was leaked out of him threatening her little sister, essentially threatening to do to her little sister what Alistair and I are still going through a year later today. That's what I'm understanding. There was some type of physical violence going on. The stalkings. Okay, so I shot premium before I started the stream, so yeah. I had like a French maid theme going on. I just want to say that I know, okay, the one thing that's cool about IP, there's like one thing that's cool about it and then one thing that's like a little frustrating. So some of IP2 is the audience of Ice Poseidons that went rogue and that turned on him because they didn't like the kind of person he was anymore. So there's kind of like this side of IP2 that's like the anti-toxic, anti-cancer, anti-like trash, use people side of IP2, and then there's the other side of IP2, which can't get enough of it and is literally waiting for moments like what happened today to happen. Like they're waiting to clip it, they're waiting to take it out of context. Like they cannot wait for that. That's their thing. Unfortunately, it's kind of like how please don't twist this, but you know how they're saying like when it comes to like mass shooters and stuff like that, the media doesn't want to give them a ton of attention because they don't want to like feed their ego and reward them. Sometimes like the clipping that's happening because of the shenanigans tonight or the memes and stuff, like although a lot of people are making fun, it's not taken that way by him. Any kind of attention is good attention. And I still believe that he's not just on the spectrum. I really think he's also suffering from a cluster B variety disorder, which is a personality disorder. Those are 100% in your control. I truly believe he fits criteria for borderline. He's very borderline, like everything about it. The splitting, which is when you, in one moment, can idolize someone, and then in the next moment, over the most trivial thing, they're trash, you hate them more than anything, they're the worst person in the world. That's called splitting. And someone with borderline personality only sees things in black and white, all good or all bad. And they're constantly splitting their friends and family all the time over the most trivial things. And I know that when we were dating, at any given time, he had at least 2 of his family members blocked, whether they were immediate or extended. And he would always have some type of rival talent enemy that he was obsessed with. Like he couldn't just focus on himself, he had to kind of obsess over someone that he saw as a threat. That even cost me additional hosting gigs on Battlecam. Not a big deal, I'm not like butthurt about it, but I'll just tell you a quick story. I don't recall what entirely okay. So there was a board meeting that happened with all the hosts. This was towards the end of Battlecam when it was still like syndicated and on TV, and when back in the day, like this is probably like 2014 or so. I was pregnant, nobody knew, with Alistair, and so okay, we're in a meeting and Justin is upset because he has to sit across from his sworn enemy at the time, which was Messi. Now I'd worked on the show by myself. I'd met Messi here and there. I had no problems with Messi, and I had no problems with anyone in the studio whatsoever. And he didn't want to just sit there and participate in the meeting. What was happening, where his being unable to deal with Messi's presence alone, was just too much for him to bear, and he got up and made a scene and walked off. And then he looks at me like, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, so awkward. So I just sit there for like another 2 minutes because I felt like, well, you can bite your host thing in the ass, but I'm not doing it. I have nothing to do with this beef. And he goes, "Come on." And I'm like, so I basically, through coercion, decided to go with him, which was really stupid because I didn't host any more shows after that. So Justin gets let go, and then I guess he got rehired, and then eventually the whole like syndication stuff like that went away, whatever. But because he made me go with him, like I didn't host any more shows after that, So, and that was kind of messed up. So not only could he not just bite his tongue and be professional, he had to take other people down, and he had to put me in a situation where I had to choose. Some people don't believe me, but I'm not new to streaming. I've actually been streaming longer than his ass. I started on Stickcam. Bong TV. Some people know Bong from Battlecam or other places. He was on there. Chris Crocker was on Stickcam. Quite a few people. And yeah, so I predate fucking JTV, all that shit. Not trying to brag. My point is that, I've been doing this for a while too, and it's really important that you're consistent, and if you have to move to another platform, you have to, again, be consistent and dedicated to it. Well, there were times, like, especially after Battlecam died, before he got associated with IP2, or IP, Ice Poseidon, CX, he was not happy with the things I found for myself. Like, I kind of feel that he was jealous. So he would sabotage them. Like, I'd be sitting there doing a stream, doing perfectly well, having good numbers, and he would just yell, blah, 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 sucks ass, like, out of frame. Like, dude, I just got contracted with this company, and you're gonna yell they suck ass? Like, I would never do that to you, you know? So when it comes to, like, sharing the limelight or sharing the stage, that was just never possible. And chat's moving really fast. I'm totally not ignoring you guys, so... Did someone really pull a knife on him? I doubt. I think you're lying. Oh, no, it's not. It's okay. You know what? I'm trying to switch to vaping, and that's what the cough is. I don't have the corona. If you guys want me to get tested, I can try, but from what I understand, California does not have enough tests. So yeah, I've not wanted to talk about him for a long time. I'm trying to, like, not be associated as, oh, that person is so-and-so's ex, because I feel like I've done a lot more than that. I feel like I can offer more than that. But I want to, I'm touching on this now because I'm personally, obviously, still suffering consequences from, you know, his wrath. Some of the things, well, can you blame her, though? If she really did pull a knife on him, can you blame her? I'm just saying. But some of his antics have, you know, cost me a lot, and I'm still suffering for them. If you guys think I wanted to be in my hometown still, you're dead wrong. You know I'm stuck here, and you know very well why. And Alistair was supposed to be returned home, but because of COVID, the return date release process has been put on hold. So, as all court stuff is on hold right now, so, you know, I haven't seen him since the quarantine. I'm lucky to get FaceTimes with him. But because he was mad at me, he was able to convince hundreds of people to call child services nonstop and make up all these crazy stories. And guess what? When I was going to court, that was presented as fact. So I'm going on record because, yeah, you guys can do your memes, yeah, you guys can laugh and stuff, but I'm just asking that you not participate in him hurting other people anymore. That's why I'm doing this. It's almost like a curse that you have to give to someone else to get rid of. It's pretty clear when girls are coming in and out of his life, like, he'll blow me up for a while, and when I don't hear from him, I assume there's a new girl. I don't care. We've been broken up for years. Like, I want him to move on and be happy. But because I'm nice and, you know, forgiving, he thinks he can just, you know, weasel his way back into my life and, like, come live with me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, no. Like, we were incredibly toxic together, number one. And number two, if he thinks I could ever forgive him for what he's put me and Alistair through, like, he's crazy, like, dead wrong. Like, this is going to affect Alistair probably for the rest of his life. If he has a memory anything like mine, he'll remember everything. You know, he turned 4. He had to have a birthday in the system. That's horrible. You know, it's something that you can't, like, forgive somebody for doing. And he's obviously not changed with that because we know he threatened Lauren in the same way. So, and Lauren's reached out to me, you know, like, I'm not trying to, like, start a X club, you know. Like I said, I really think if he's dating anyone who happens to be a streamer or wants to stream, I think they should, you know, do their own thing and try to branch off from being associated as someone's ex, because they're probably a lot more than that. He seems to have a type. He likes single moms or broken girls, and they're easily manipulated. Now it's going to be a lot harder because of so much overwhelming evidence clipped against him. Battlecam days, there wasn't nearly as much, but I mean, there was still some, but and I blame it on pregnant brain, okay? Pregnant brain makes you not think so much. But yeah, basically, he convinced me that all his crazy antics and shenanigans were purely acting and that he was hired and he had to maintain beef and all that, and he was really convincing about it. Like, I feel really dumb now, like in retrospect, but it's pretty clear why he likes young girls or single moms or girls who just grew up not feeling very loved or have daddy issues, because they're so easy to break, manipulate, and they're more likely to tolerate the craziness. And especially if you have one that, you know, might be interested in media or entertainment, or if they're a little starstruck, like, it's going to be so easy to just manipulate them, you know? Hired actor, by the way. Yeah, this is new. This is new, actually. I finally got a place to put it up. So yeah, it's a great workout, guys, all right? I've retired from a session of it. If I had like a strip of this, like right here, here, and here, like the different places you might grip, oh, I'd be sucking, I'd be a beast, honestly. Oh my God. Okay. There she goes, flying down the pole. Okay, all right, we'll do something. Okay, so check this out though. There is a little bit of some issues here. It's still not quite the ideal setup, and I'll show you why. All right, so let's check this ceiling out. Okay, do you see that? Yeah, so we have that. There's that right there. And with shoes, like, okay, I barely make the clearance without shoes, but with shoes, like I kind of got the wall scuffed up, so I'm not doing shoes. Maybe it'll break. Are we celebrating? Well, I'm kind of talking about how I really hope some individual, we all know who, I really hope they're able to learn their lesson on this one. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the love. Alistair will not visit his dad in prison. No. No. He's been out of our lives for quite a while, years now. And, I mean, come on. Is that a good example? Like, a while back, years ago, probably like 2 years ago, okay? I said, like, if he actually got help, like real help, which is for him going to be cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, that I might consider, you know, that kind of thing, because he is the only person like that in his life ever. But I just realized that's never going to happen. And honestly, I feel like Alistair was used to get to me. You know what I mean? Like, as a tool. I don't think everything was entirely genuine when he, you know, his feelings and stuff. I don't wish ill on anyone, but I've said this a million times. I really do kind of see something horribly violent happening because he just cannot control himself. And I think that one day he's going to threaten the wrong person. Like, I know of people getting taken out over much less. This is not a threat, but I'm just saying it's kind of the way the world works, and I feel like he's been on borrowed time. And the way mommy and daddy, I gotta stretch a little bit, always bail his ass out, he gets what he wants with that behavior. So if he's never had to face consequences, why? There's no incentive for him to change. So he's really gonna need to sit this one out. And it's unfortunate because I don't understand like where COVID is in Florida. I mean, and their numbers and stuff. I know California, we're conducting a test in Los Angeles. They're testing 1,000 random people. I know that's going to give us some insight here, and that's probably going to affect the duration of our personal lockdown. But I don't know the status of Florida. So I do know that courts everywhere are shut down, and that his arraignment date is probably not going to be anytime soon. There hasn't even been a bail amount set to my knowledge that I know of. Oh, snap. I don't know. Can I do it from here? Well, I wasn't going to do anything crazy. Well, they're just waiting to ban me, huh? Alright. not gonna do anything too crazy or scandalous. Thank you for the subscription. The audio sync fell? Okay. Is that what's happening? That's crazy. Okay. I just kind of hope he's able to learn a lesson on this one. Honestly, like, I think he was arrested 2 or 3 times while we were together. And both times he insisted on being bailed out. I want to say Brent footed the bill for the initial bailout. And then he was on the hook for the remaining payments. And he was under the impression that because his case was dropped, that he didn't have to pay. He didn't understand that bail, it doesn't matter how much your bail is, you're paying that whatever X amount thousands of dollars to get out of jail that day. He didn't understand that's what he was paying for. Now, if you're essentially a first offender, if there's no evidence, if it's a hearsay situation, it's just going to be cheaper to sit in jail, you know? It's going to be way cheaper. And he had to get bailed out. And, you know, he was so pissed that he was paying $250 to a bondsman every month for like a year to pay it off. And I'm like, dude, your ass should have just sat there. If he would have chilled out and sat there for like 2-3 days, that would have been it. But no, like that's the thing. If you're gonna fucking harass people, if you're gonna like talk all, you know, badass and shit, like if you're gonna come at people in jail, you better buck up because they're not playing there. If you look at somebody wrong, if you say some shit, you're gonna fucking get your ass beat, bitch. Pick up the soap. Like, they don't play. And I think he realized very quickly that his little bitch ass would not survive there because he couldn't just shut his mouth. So, I've done 10 hours in jail because I had a failure to appear on a traffic ticket. It wasn't great. You know, I wasn't like loving it, but I had no problems. You know, I basically just kept to myself. I did talk some shit to one girl though, you know, where you're able to make your one phone call. There were 2 payphones and me and like 6 girls are waiting. Only one of the 2 are working. And I'm like, and this bitch her bail's like $1 million. After like an hour and a half of this bitch calling everyone she knows, I'm like, bitches, no one's gonna bail your ass out. Pass the phone. And everyone looked at me like, and I'm like, what? Who's gonna bail you out? Okay, I'm like, well, if they want to call the payphone back, they can call the payphone back, but I need to make one call. I need to call my lawyer, bye. And I called my lawyer and said, don't bail me out. Just say so-and-so, just tell so-and-so I won't be there tomorrow. Click. That's all I had to do. And I knew that getting bailed out would not make any sense, you know? So I saved $10,000 that day. Yeah, or I guess it's 1,000? Yeah, because it's 10%. Whew, okay. Yeah, so I can't give you bobs here. Look, I'm not gonna call Josh or Linda. I called Josh the last time this went down and I told him, you can't bail him out. You can't let him get away with this. You can't let him act this way. And the next thing I know, he's at their house the next day or whatever. So his behavior isn't just him. It's a family problem because they've allowed it for so long. I have issues with some of my family, even some of my immediate family, okay? I'm not gonna get into details, but it doesn't matter. There's certain things that you just don't say to your family. You just don't do. You respect people, you know? Some things you just tolerate, you know, and you got to think of your position, you know, if you're living somewhere rent-free and if, you know, someone's footing your bill, supporting you, you really, it's like the hand that feeds. I don't know how many times I explained that to his ass, but he just cannot like grasp that concept. And hold on, let me fix this. We may have to shut this down really quickly. Okay, we're all dysfunctional. I'm not faulting anyone for that. I'm just saying there's a big difference between, you know, having a private conversation, trying to work on communication and fairness, and then there's exploiting your family and making an asshole out of everybody and doing it multiple times. So the fact that this has happened multiple times is like, it's not just him, everyone else around him is allowing it. So it's truly a family problem for them, multi-generational at that. And we'll be right back in just a few, guys. I gotta shut this down for a sec.